We are Geekcentric, and you can be too. Love ya. Get home safe, guys. Peace.
What's up, geeks, and welcome to another episode of the Geekcentric podcast. My name is Justin, and today we're still riding that bong high. Woo! With Parasite surpassing expectations at this year's Oscars, we thought it would be a perfect time to take a look at the work of director Bong and his road to winning that sweet, sweet Oscar gold. But first, if you're joining us for the first time, this is a weekly podcast covering the world of film, television, gaming, toys, collectibles, and all things geek-centric. Joining me today are my lovely co-hosts, Mama's little angel, Nate.
Aw, I really am. I really am.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we have the Hellraiser, Kevin Hudson. Woo! So how you guys doing?
Good. I'm a little tired. I shoveled snow for the first time ever. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow. Yes, it's
I've shoveled it before.
a balmy like minus 20 outside with a wind chill, I think.
And so when I got home, before we started recording this, like the snow was like a gate. Like it was like taller than I am. Like it was so. I couldn't. I tried, and then my car was like, nope. And then I had to shovel it out.
If you're trying to drive up a hill, that's not good.
It doesn't work, right? A hill of snow.
Yeah.
No.
Especially with your car.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, that
So-
little guy.
Not- yeah, that little tiny thing.
I have a little patio table on my back deck, and so I kind of use that to gauge how bad the snow has been. And there was 2 feet of snow sitting on the top of that table. And I thought,
Is that like your meter to like look outside?
Yeah,
and be
I
like,
look outside
I
and
should
go,
probably go shovel.
I don't think I'm going to leave the house today.
It's weird though,
Thank God I work from home.
because my dad was like, he's like, you really got to shovel your driveway. And I've been like, it's been good so far. I haven't had to shovel it once. He's like, because I'm always shoveling it. So I was like, yeah.
He's like the guardian angel that just comes in. And you're
I'm like,
whoa, it snowed,
I'm
but
like-
my
I'm like-
driveway is shoveled.
I'm like, Dad, like, I'd always sense up shovel it. I don't know how. He's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, well, so we are Canadians running this podcast in some cold weather. But guys, we should get right into it because we got a lot to talk about. Let's start off with whatcha.
Yeah.
Nate, what you been up to, bro?
Oh, man, what you been up to? So before we got hit by the snowpocalypse or whatever you want to call it, I actually had a lovely experience. My first time ever, I went to the Cinesphere in Ontario Place. Have you guys ever been to the Cinesphere?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
It's like, for those who've never been...
We're old, remember, Nate? You constantly remind us. We've been
Right.
there when
you were there when it opened in the 70s, right? Yeah.
I've been there when the rest of Ontario Place was actually still open.
still
Yeah,
open.
exactly.
No, I had never ever. I don't think I'd ever laid eyes upon this place. And to hear that it was existing since the 70s was crazy. But I went to go see my first Cinesphere movie, and I saw Interstellar for the first time ever in IMAX. And
You've never seen Interstellar?
I've never seen Interstellar.
Oh, wow.
Right? And it was one of those Nolan films that I'm like, I love Nolan films, and I like, I'm big on Dark Knight and Inception, but like honestly, I think this movie might have topped both of those for me. I don't know. No,
Not for me.
really.
Not for me,
Well, it's because you guys aren't cheesy and sentimental like I am. That's
Oh,
probably.
you like that? Yeah.
dude? Oh, it's so good. Honestly,
Seeing it in that large format, what did you think?
it
of
was
the
so
visuals?
cool. I mean, 70 millimeter. I've got to see more IMAX movies. Gorgeous. The sound. There's a moment where somebody gets ripped out of a ship. If you've seen the movie, you know who I'm talking
We've
about,
seen it.
which was a huge surprise. I felt it in my body. Maybe I got to go just see more IMAX movies. I'm probably preaching to the choir.
No, you
here.
really should. Like, we were talking today that
Yeah.
we have seen every Nolan film in IMAX
Yeah.
since probably Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Just really quickly, I just wanted to mention, like, we talked about our favorite movie theaters experiences. I believe we talked about that on this podcast
Yep.
before,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
And honestly, this experience has probably gone up into my top 3.
So you should have come to the Batman trilogy with us.
I
when
really
we did
should
it
have.
there. Yeah.
That would have been cool.
It was wicked.
But like, I think the big thing for me, it was like, going into this building, it's like a geodesic globe. It's almost like if Mission Space had a baby. Like it's like the big ball at Epcot.
It's a mini Epcot ball, essentially.
Right? And so
I believe at one point it was the largest screen in the world.
I think it might still be. I'm not sure.
I
Nolan,
think it might still be the largest in Canada.
oh, maybe in Canada.
North America.
Christopher Nolan came on the screen and was like, "I'm so happy you're seeing my films."
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like that, but no. So to see a movie in a building like this was like, it was a perfect marriage of experiences, because like Interstellar it almost felt like I was in a building that might have been in that movie.
Sure.
And it's now in one of my top 3 movies. Movie theater experiences ever, because like it expresses Einstein's relativity of time, and 3 hours of being engrossed in this movie felt like time travel. I hate to be cheesy, but I walked into that theater in bright daylight, and I walked out to a beautiful sunset overlooking the Toronto skyline. It was
Maybe
just
they
such a
planned it that
cool.
way.
It was so cool, dude. And outside the theater, there's like these cubes or rectangles that are an art installation. I don't know if they're always there, but it looked like it looked like TARS from the movie.
Right.
It looked like the robots.
What else have you been up to? Because I know that's not the only thing.
That's not the only thing. The other thing I wanted to talk about is, have you guys started Hunters? It's Al Pacino, and you got like Josh Radnor in there. Honestly, it's fantastic. You have to watch this show. It's available on Amazon Prime, and it's like their big show that they're promoting now. So you'll see it right on the front page.
Al Pacino's in it.
Yeah. And he's actually so good. Like I mustn't really watch too many Al Pacino movies, but he's really good. And as an old Jewish
too
guy,
old for you.
Maybe that's what it is. Everyone's too old for me. It's really brutal. It's terrifying.
I remember watching the trailer.
Yeah.
And you just get these vibes, and I'm like, man, this feels like a Jordan Peele movie. And then all of a sudden, it's produced by Jordan Peele. I'm like, okay,
right?
you know,
that to me
makes
was
sense.
the big selling thing. Jordan Peele producing it.
It's so good.
It's all available, right?
Yeah, it's hard to binge, because they honestly, first episode's like an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's a movie.
It's a full movie, and then all the other episodes are like a solid hour, not 40 minutes. So
Yeah, that's not very
it's
bingey.
not bingey.
Bingeable.
So I think I've watched like 2.5 episodes so far.
Okay.
Kevin, what you been up to?
It's been kind of tame. Obviously, we had a watch club to prepare for, so I did my best for that. But other than that, I got caught up to the most recent episode of Avenue 5. I think it's coming together.
Yeah?
I feel like it's coming together.
Oh, good.
I'm really starting to like some of the characters and their sort of quirky
Quirkiness.
traits and stuff.
Okay.
So
Maybe it's like The Office, because I know for some people The Office didn't catch them right away. Like it rubbed them the wrong way.
It took a season and a half or
For
so
The
for it
Office
to
for you, right?
really get going.
So maybe it's like that. Like maybe I don't think it'll be as strong as The Office, but maybe we'll catch that bug.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it always takes a show a couple episodes, I think, for you to go, oh, that's who this character is, and then being able to see them in different scenarios always. So there's just things just keep going wrong for these people. The show's a really neat blend of dark comedy. It's almost bordering on horror, the things they're dealing with and
Yeah.
going
Saying
through,
that
and the
last week.
music especially. Like it just, something will happen and you're laughing at their misery, and then the music comes in over the credits, and it's this like awful, scary music, and it's just like, ooh. That's,
But they're all so goofy that like you can't.
Yeah, that it's
take it too
so it's
seriously.
got a really unique sort of tone to it. So I'm enjoying that. What else? I watched Zombieland 2.
Why?
What'd you think?
Sarah's a zombie.
Nuts.
We'll watch anything with zombies.
Zombies.
And Woody Harrelson's in
If you're in the
it.
mood for a zombie
and I like
movie, yeah.
Zombieland, but I liked it 8 years ago when it came out.
Yeah.
So that always
Too little,
sucks
too
when
late.
yeah, exactly.
What happened with that? Was that like? Do we know the story behind that?
I
Like-
just think they didn't have a script, and then they went, hey. I'm watching my weekly shows, Brooklyn Nine-Nines, last season of Modern Family, that sort of thing, but nothing interesting.
Finally,
to
the
report
last
there.
season of the Modern Family.
Yeah, it's probably about 2 years too late.
Too late, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is
and
it
I'm watching
season 12?
the greatest reality show ever,
Oh, really?
Ink Master, baby. I love Ink Master.
Ink Master.
Ink Master.
Tattoos.
Tattoos.
Really?
It's the only reality show where it's purely up to their skill.
Yeah, that's
It's
kind
just
of cool.
really talented artists doing tattoo. I mean, it comes down to judge discretion at the
Sure.
end.
Yeah.
It's not about drama, and I mean, obviously they amp that stuff up to
Yeah, it's
make it more
reality
interesting.
show. Yeah.
But it's still just a competition. That's what I like. That's my kind of reality TV is
Yes.
Ink Master and Top Chef.
Yeah.
Those are my two
Top
jams.
Chef, and even Project Runway. What have I been up to? I've been actually, like, to your Kevin's point. The only thing I really watch yet is our watch club.
Yeah.
just because that's what I had time for. But
There's quite a bit to watch you in that.
yeah, there's a lot to
if
watch.
you can find it.
Yeah,
Oh,
which
yeah.
we will get into in a
we'll
little
talk
bit.
about that.
But other than that, yeah, working. We just started. We finally have been making some traction on our upcoming YouTube video because it is a beast right now. Like
Yeah.
we've
People
had
keep
to
saying,
push it.
"Where have you been? You've been on hiatus too long."
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, we were busy in January with a little something.
Yeah.
But also, this is going to be our longest,
Yeah.
most exciting and
Really?
fun.
Yeah, like we have
Video
big.
ever.
Yeah, we are hoping that it can really captivate in the sense of just an experience. So
I'm just happy to hear that people are asking where we are.
Lots of people. It's
That's
funny,
awesome.
yeah.
That's cool.
yeah. It's
I'm
been
glad.
great. It's been great. So other than that, I haven't been doing much. So you know what, guys? I think this is a perfect segue into the news.
It's all about the details.
For our first news story, Bob Iger steps down as CEO of Disney.
Ooh.
This article actually is coming from CNBC, a non-film resource, but it's
Listen, it has to do with everything we love.
absolutely. So Disney announced on Tuesday that CEO Bob Iger will step down from his role and become executive chairman until 2021, effective immediately. Bob Chapek, who most recently served as chairman of the Disney Parks Experience and Products, will assume the role of CEO. Iger plans to focus on Disney's creative strategy through the remainder of his tenure. And as we all know, Iger has basically beefed up Disney's content library over his 15 years.
Yeah.
His first acquisition was for $7.4 billion, and that was to acquire Pixar Animation.
Really?
He then went on to acquire Lucasfilm and Marvel Entertainment, both for about $4 to $5 billion. And most recently, the acquisition of Fox for $71 billion.
Oh my gosh.
So he has effectively grown Disney. So guys, what do we think? Like, he started Disney Plus. He's now stepping down. What do we think of what's going to happen with Disney?
I think people are overblowing it a bit.
Yeah.
Because it's not like he's just like, okay, bye. Leaving this new guy in the dark. He's staying on for 2 years, both to work on creative things, but also to serve as a mentor, to help Chapek sort of work his way into the role for 2 years.
Yeah.
And let's not forget that it's not like Chapek hasn't done anything.
Right.
He's worked for the company for 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
He apparently eats, sleeps, and breathes Disney. He knows the brand and what it means inside and out. And look at what he's done at the parks. I mean, we just saw his magical work between what he's done with Galaxy's Edge, Toy Story Land, all of the changes to Epcot. Like, this guy gets it. I think it's time for him to move into the next step. And again, Iger did everything. So now he just needs to make sure it runs smoothly.
You bring
right?
up a good point. Like, to maybe basically appoint him as CEO just might be the idea that, for Bob Iger, he was like a counterpart to really bring these things to life. All of these properties that he was able to acquire, Bob Chapek was able to just take and say, well, let's turn it into a park experience.
Sure,
Exactly,
but does
right?
that
Boom,
mean
we got Pixar, Toy Story Land. Boom, we got Star Wars,
And we have
Land.
a Marvel
Boom,
Land coming out.
Yeah,
right, but
3
does that
different
mean
places.
does that mean they slow down on acquisitions? Like, is that part of it?
Well, I think they
What
can.
else can they acquire?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, where's my man Spider-Man? Tom Holland wants him in the MCU.
I don't
Okay,
know.
we want him in the MCU.
Yeah, but how? Okay, they just paid $70 billion for all of Fox's properties.
and
How
they're
much
gonna pay
does Sony want?
$100 billion. Let's get it.
They can. I'm
Let's go.
so sick of this. Spider-Man's cool and all, but he's not worth 10 times what the entire Marvel universe is.
And that's you're absolutely right, Kevin. I think that Sony would walk into that conversation and be like, okay, you want Spider-Man? $10 billion. That's basically Lucasfilm and Marvel for the price of one property and all of his characters, right?
Now, my sources are, the vitriol that comes in the comment section of a Star Wars Celebration fan group on Facebook.
Which should always be trusted.
That's a good
But
source.
no, but I mean, apparently there were rumors that Chapek was responsible for cutting back the amount of character funding and show funding for Galaxy's Edge. And one of our criticisms when we did the review was that we wanted more characters. We wanted more of a stage show.
And I think we also agreed that it maybe was a wise decision to slowly roll things
that out.
right?
Yeah.
You don't want to
That's
oversaturate.
until it's been 5 years and nothing has changed. I am just waiting patiently. I mean, they're about to open up the most immersive hotel experience in the world in a year.
Yeah, I think it's actually a good time for him to peace out, Bob Iger. I think it's actually perfect.
I think it's the
well,
right
he was
time.
It's the right
he
time.
was supposed to in 2019.
Yeah, no, and that made sense because
Right.
he wanted to see the launch of Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Everything he's been building towards has been to this, acquiring Fox, acquiring all those new
That
properties.
means that the Marvel universe has 15 more years of A-list comic book characters
Right.
that they haven't even touched yet.
yeah.
And it's not like this. It's not like Iger was doing anything with it.
No.
That's Feige.
No.
That's in good
No, but
hands.
yeah, exactly.
Star Wars looks like it's in good hands. If they go the right way and give it to Filoni and
Yeah.
Favreau, poof, that's taken care of.
Yeah.
Like the one major criticism of this hire that I've seen is that he has no experience in media content and stuff.
Right, just with parks and experiences that way.
I mean, how hard is it to run Disney Plus?
But also to have the intuition of
It runs itself.
No, but
It runs itself.
Yeah, it runs
Yeah.
itself. But I also think that it's also good to have good intuition and to say, this feels right. We should do this, right? Okay, I think we should move on to the next news story.
So we're moving on just like Bob Iger.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh yeah, from one Bob to another Bob.
Isn't that, just bobbing around.
Well, you know what, though? We're actually moving into another Disney story.
Oh.
Okay. This one comes from Screen Rant. Disney cuts kissing scene from Mulan to appease Chinese audience.
Yeah.
No shocker.
Right? Okay, so here's a couple of
There's
little
a billion
details.
people. If that's what's going to get the thing in theaters and make, $500 million over there, I don't blame them.
Yeah, so when Disney announced it was doing this remake of the live action film, the company seemed very focused on creating a movie that would please the Chinese moviegoers. One of the first steps, obviously, was to ensure the cast was entirely Chinese.
Yeah.
They also dropped all the mystical dragon stuff with Mushu.
Yeah, I don't
original
think there's
animated.
going to be much comedy in
No,
this
it
version.
doesn't. It looks very serious. And the other thing too is like the music, right? Like there's no musical numbers. There's not the traditional princess music that we've seen from the other live actions where they kind of are really live action realizations. This is going to be a very real authentic story,
movie, yeah.
which is the biggest criticism of what happened when the original came out in 1998. A lot of people were very unhappy in China with how the story, because this
It was like
it does come-
fantasized.
it comes from their culture. It's
Right.
actually a myth, and
It's a myth, though.
Yeah, it is.
But I think
myths are fantastic.
Sure, but I think I think in
it was too westernized.
yes,
Yeah,
and
it was way too
it was too fluffy and sell toys and yeah.
But that's Disney's job.
So, like, how do we feel about this? Like,
Well,
does this make sense?
I guess
to
like
kind of...
out of any movie that you're going to, out of any Disney movie that you're going to want to appease Chinese audiences with and modify the movie to do so, I think it's fair to say Mulan is that movie. I think it's another story when we're seeing it's just focus on making a movie that's great for the whole world.
Right. If you're going to, I totally agree with
Right.
you with that. I also think though that we don't need to westernize everything
Sure.
that comes from another culture.
And we're going to get into that later, right?
Yeah, for sure. But
Yeah.
imagine in 1998 they came out with this story of
Yeah.
Mulan, and it wasn't animated, and it wasn't even by Disney.
Yeah.
Would it have performed as well?
Right.
In 1998, would it have really?
Well, I don't think Mulan even did that well.
No,
compared to Lion King, Beauty and the
Yes,
Beast,
yeah.
the movies that sort of
Yeah.
Aladdin, those three big 90s
Sure.
cartoons.
You're probably
the,
right.
the weakest performing.
yeah.
But how do you think this is going to fare for Western audiences? Because I think, like, now that I'm thinking about it, I think about Chinese food. And so Chinese food in the States and in Canada is not Chinese food, right? Like, it really isn't. So in my mind, the 90s Mulan is that Chinese food. And this might be closer to actual Chinese food. So, like, I don't know if Americans really dig...
So, or just food?
or just, from China. So I just don't know if, in a Western setting, how do we think this is going to... Do you think this is going to do
I don't
well?
think it's going to matter.
Do you need to kiss to make...
No,
to
but that's
show
what I mean.
love?
Exactly. Yeah.
But
exactly.
I think it's kind of cool, like, that you mentioned, like, authenticity, right? And so to be able to open people's eyes to that culture
At this time,
more at this time.
Great. Well, that's the news, guys. I think it's time to get into some trailer time.
It's trailer time.
All right, our first trailer. It's an HBO film called Bad Education, coming out in 2020. Directed by Corey Finley and based on a true story, a student reporter starts to trace embezzlement at the Roseland School District in Long Island after an assistant superintendent makes a crucial mistake that hints at corruption that spans over a decade. Hugh Jackman's in it. I believe Ray Romano's in it as well. There was someone else too.
Allison Janney.
Allison Janney.
That's who I'm interested. She's so
fantastic.
awesome.
Yeah, she's fantastic. This looks really, really good. It looks. I'm actually.
Is
really
Allison
intrigued.
the only Academy Award winner that's in the show?
Yes.
I think so, right?
Yeah, because it said Academy Award nominee
for Jackman. And then Golden
Emmy,
Globe.
Emmy. I think it was
for,
Emmy for Ray Romano.
Raymond. Cool. Yeah, honestly, I guess so. The new thing is just to go to HBO now. If you're a celebrity, you don't.
Well, I think it's also just there's more of a desire for content.
Right. I thought it was a show. I didn't realize it was a movie.
Well, yeah, you kind of described it like we were only watching shows. So when you said, and we're watching this HBO thing called Bad Education, I was like, okay,
Well, they do
great.
films. They
and
do
then
they do
the
films.
trailer busted out. So I watched that trailer thinking it was a show.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
But the fact that Hugh Jackman's in it, I mean, listen, I don't like to listen to, ever since I watched the trailer for Frozen and they were like, better than The Lion King, I was like, oh, I don't want to listen to those things that pop up anymore. But one of them that pops up is like, his best acting in his career or something like that. So I'm like, okay, like I'll give it a shot. I'll see about that. I don't know. I thought,
What is that like really high
for
praise?
Hugh Jackman?
Yeah, what is like really good acting for Hugh Jackman?
I don't know. I thought Logan was incredible.
Okay, he was good in Logan as Wolverine, right? Like, is all he did in that
I thought he
movie.
was good.
Joaquin was good as Joker. They gave him an Oscar for it.
Yeah.
I know. That's what's wrong with the bloody Oscars.
I don't know. I thought he was.
Oh, he was excellent in Logan. That's about it. That would be like, you know.
No, dude, Prisoners.
Prisoners
He's
is
phenomenal in
Okay,
Prisoners.
I'm sure he was. I hated that movie.
It's so long.
Oh,
It's so
just
long.
Are you still
just
watching it?
Free the prisoners.
No, I mean, and then I thought he was. I think he's a good actor when he's given a good role.
No, and
right?
that's exactly it. And I think that this is going to be a role that isn't a superhero or isn't a musical.
Right. It seems really normal
No,
for him.
It seems very,
It
like-
looks like he's the bad guy. which
He is the
cool.
bad guy, yeah. So he is the person that is the superintendent.
Just like he was in The Greatest Showman.
yeah, great. He was the bad guy in the Greatest Show.
No, but he should have been. What a joke that is.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
here's
I
P.T.
haven't watched that
Barnum,
one.
the wonderful P.T. Barnum.
I haven't watched that
Yeah,
one.
let's talk about how great he was.
Yeah. Music was really good in that, though.
Oh, don't you dare. Moving on to Ray Romano. He's great, too.
Well, I love to see Ray Romano and other
Raymond.
things, and I'm glad
What?
that...
Who is that? Why are the Beatles?
I don't know.
talking to him?
I don't know. I was trying to do like his brother Raymond.
Yeah, that's
I don't know. Okay, anyways.
Raymond.
Everybody loves him.
After 10 years of a really successful sitcom, where you make $100 million or $50 million, you don't have to work.
Yeah.
And now he's picking and choosing projects.
Yeah.
And look at the last two he did, right? Avoid stinkers. You don't need to make, garbage when you're loaded.
Yeah, and I'm also wondering if when Scorsese comes knocking at your door, you're like, yeah, I'll do that.
Sure. Sorry, kids, I'm going away for a couple months.
No, that's a good.
There
Ray
you go.
Romano. There's a good.
Yeah,
Ray Romano.
Raymond. I've come back from the dead, Raymond.
Yeah, so there's
okay,
no
how are ya?
There's no date slated for it. It just says 2020. So I look forward to seeing it on HBO.
It's weird that so many people have seen it.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
got a
like-
lot of. It's getting review bombed at this moment. I think people are giving it one. They're saying the script's not accurate. Yeah, I want to give this movie a chance. The fact that it's
So
Hugh
wait,
Jackman.
is it
April 25th,
I'm
2020.
Wow. So it must have screened at like a festival.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that's
Yeah.
why.
Oh, so we'll never see it from where we are.
Well, no, but we'll see it. We'll see it on HBO when it hits.
Oh,
right?
I
But
guess,
it's like
right?
Netflix. Right?
Yeah.
It's like they screened it in the Festival of Irishman, and
okay.
then it ended up on the streaming.
But we've
platform.
talked about how films that have been screened in limited release should always be available to stream, right? Like,
yeah, that's a
they're
whole
so
other
hard to watch.
conversation.
But,
That's
yeah,
a whole other
which we already
conversation.
had in one of our previous episodes.
Yeah.
So go back and watch it. Or listen to that.
Watch it. Yeah, you should watch it with your ears. Okay, our next trailer, another HBO, but this one is a series. Okay, so an HBO series, Westworld Season 3. Not much information is given about what to anticipate for this season, but we have the return of Evan Rachel Wood, Jeffrey Wright, Ed Harris, Tessa Thompson, and
Newcomer.
Aaron Paul,
Jesse
which I'm very excited
Pinkman.
for. My question
Really?
is,
I don't
yeah.
like that guy.
Because he plays the same thing in every movie.
this
a
might be the
brooding
one, bro.
prick. He looks like a brooding jerk again. That's
Well, I
the
think he's
same
doing
character.
Crimes with Cynthia Erivo, which I saw in that trailer.
Yeah, is Cynthia Erivo in it?
Yeah.
I noticed the blonde hair.
Yeah, I think that was her.
I
I'm
think it
pretty
was
sure.
her, yeah.
She's a little blurry, but I think that was her.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm so hyped for this show. Like, I love.
It looks awesome. This
I-
season looks fantastic.
Season 1 was amazing. Season 2 was a little bit of a dip down, but not by much.
No, I don't think it was a dip.
What
down.
happened in season 2? What was the last thing to happen? Can you even remember? Because it was so bloody confusing.
And long ago?
That's my one thing that I'm like not. Yeah, but I could go a year and a half without Game of Thrones and know the last scene.
Yeah.
Like what happened in that season. I have no idea what happened last
I
season.
still remember the last scene of
There was a
season 2.
tiger and some samurai stuff, and
Yeah.
there were lots of great elements.
Well,
but
they got past that pretty quick.
They went really confusing in like 18
I
timelines.
think I think the problem with season
Like I'm
2
gonna need to rewatch season 2 and then watch breakdown videos. I think going into
just
season
going
3,
into-
just so
yeah.
I know what the
Yeah,
heck is
yeah,
going
yeah.
on.
I think the thing that bothered me about season 2 is to your point, it just felt a little rushed. I think that is this the final season? Like,
I mean,
is
if
this-
it's not, it should be.
No, but that's what I feel like they're.
I'd be okay with
There was
that.
one line of text during that trailer, or maybe one thing that Evan Rachel Wood said
Yeah.
that almost suggested
Yeah,
And
there
then I
was the
thought
end.
maybe it'll say the final season. It never
Right.
did, but there
Yeah.
was she had one line of dialogue. I wish I had written it down or remembered it, but then I went, oh, I wonder if this is how they're going to wrap it up.
Right. Well, they're kind
She
of
said,
treating
like, it's
it.
time for things to end.
Yeah,
or
and it's
something.
like and like it's all of us against them or
Like,
something.
where do
right?
you go after there's a winner, you
yeah,
know?
you got Ed Harris, like Men in Black, saying like,
See, I thought he was
I
dead.
got to save the world or
I
whatever.
thought he was dead.
I think it's. Or she said the end of the game. I think that's
There
what
we
you were
go.
talking about,
There
right?
you go,
Because
yeah.
she's talking to the Man in Black. I think it's so. I just think it's so cool how they have the ability to now bring this into the real world, and it's instead of a Netherland,
but
right?
that's what
But they
number-
did do that in number 2. Like,
right,
at
but it was
least she
still
got out.
It was still the theme park.
No.
No, she left.
Samurai World? Oh, when she left.
She was.
Yeah,
she
she
had
left
the flashback
already.
sequences
Yeah.
True.
where she was outside with Jeffrey Wright in the in his apartment and
Yeah.
and whatnot. I do remember that.
Yeah,
scene.
so it almost should have all just been in
But
the
she-
park
that's-
until this
but I
season
think-
if they were going to make, you know.
I think that was like the flashback sequence of before she got into the park.
Right.
Spoilers, by the way.
Well,
Whatever.
but anyways, this season definitely looks like what season 2 was meant to do is to really build up to this idea that Dolores is a badass and
Yeah.
she's coming for whoever
And then-
engineered her.
And then Maeve
what's
is gonna hunt her down.
Yeah.
She's
Like
a
we got some
badass,
Terminator
too.
Oh,
stuff.
yeah, no,
and
but
she's
that's-
so
am I
interesting.
getting like some Skynet vibes? Is it Skynet from Terminator?
Yeah.
The thing that,
Oh, yeah.
that machine that like that's observing everyone and basically controls all the robots. Like
Yeah.
you know when she's like the thing that's watching us and it's like that orb.
Well,
that
and
has
so
red-
who's behind that?
Right.
Well,
I think
I
it
think
might.
it's-
Well, it might
it
be
could be
that
technology.
It would be. Maybe it's that one guy that we saw. I don't think he has a name yet.
Oh, yeah,
that
Switch
the main
actor.
villain guy, right?
The wolf from Ocean's 12.
Yeah,
Oh, is that who it is?
I don't think he's going to be a villain. I don't think he's going to be.
No?
a villain,
He didn't look like he never plays a good guy.
Well, anyone that wants
He's
to
also dressed in all
anyone
black.
that wants to kill my sweet Dolores, I think is a bad guy. So
No, I know, and I love that line. You know, we'll have to do it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
It's the old-fashioned way. I gotta kill everyone. Right? Like, it's just
Dude.
like it looks.
I can't wait to then
awesome.
see Aaron Paul look at her and go, "What have I got myself into?"
So, but I think that Aaron Paul's actually.
science, man.
I think
science.
I think Aaron Paul's character is actually going to be the viewer in this one. You know how we talk
Cool.
about, like,
Oh, for sure.
like the character in the movie that
he's going to ask all the questions. What's going on?
and like lead us through, and like he's also going to be probably challenged morally, so that we can kind of like connect with like what would we do in those sort of
Sure.
situations.
He doesn't
But-
seem like he's in a financial position with the job that he has, or with the.
No, he
with
looks
the-
like he's maintenance on robots,
right, and he's like performing crimes and stuff, and so I don't think he's ever even thought about going to Westworld, because you have to have quite a lot of money to go
Yeah,
to
but
Westworld.
is that how you're reading it though? Like I'm reading it as that now we're outside of the world. He's
Yeah.
someone that just works as like a robot maintenance person.
Sure.
And he probably somehow finds his interaction with Dolores, who he then discovers.
Yeah.
And he helps her.
But do
and
you
then
think-
that becomes their sort of partnership throughout the
Right.
rest of the season?
Do you think he hates robots though, or do you think he likes them?
No, he's not the Mandalorian.
No, that's true. That's true.
Jackass.
But dude, this trailer, the way they use "Sweet Child of Mine" by AC/DC, you guys heard of that song? Yeah. Oh wait, it's Guns N' Roses, isn't it?
Oh, see, yeah. That's why I was giving him the
my
eyes. Dang it. I was like,
God.
I think he
Screwed it up.
Yes.
I screwed it
Oh,
up.
he
I had
did
this
screw it
whole
up.
plan that I was going to
That's
pretend
awesome.
that I knew what that song was.
That's awesome.
I'm like, guys, it's the song from
That's
Step
a keeper.
Brothers.
That's a keeper. Yeah, the other question I ask is will Anthony Hopkins make an appearance?
Oh, he's got to, right? He's got to.
See,
He's
it's
Anthony
just too
Hopkins.
confusing. When you're dead, you're dead. Go
Yeah,
away.
Yeah. I could see him coming back as like another robot or something.
I think it's a flashback.
Or a flashback.
I think.
Sure.
I think
Oh, good, another
they play-
flashback.
well, they,
Yeah,
they,
why
but
not?
they play a lot with.
I
that
love
time.
flashbacks. Have you seen the show Lost? Go ahead.
Well, I know, and so
Oh,
that's
that's like the first in a
little while, right? I
First
know.
of season 2,
I was
bringing up
itching.
Lost.
I was itching.
I think though that to your point, last season was a little rushed and it was just all over the map. But it definitely tried to play with some of those Lost vibes by using Jeffrey Wright's character as like he was kind of broken, right, as a robot, and he kept going back in and out of time because he had memories. So it was interesting how he learned certain things from his past that helped the audience kind of like understand things. But to your point, it's confusing.
I
and there's
prefer
not a
my
lot.
I
a lot
prefer
to
my
remember.
storytelling linear. I think that's just a thing.
Yeah.
Tell that to Christopher Nolan.
Oh.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh, the whole next movie's gonna be like, I mean, it looks incredible. Don't
does
get me
look
wrong.
really good.
Yeah. So I'm
so
I'm
excited
cool
for
with that.
Nate, we'll take you to see it in IMAX.
If there's anybody
Please.
who's not going to tell a story linearly, I don't know if that's a word, but I used it.
Yeah, Laura Linney.
In a linear fashion, I'll let Nolan do it. But
yeah. All right,
Yeah.
cool. Well, we'll see what happens when
We'll
it
let
comes
Kevin
out.
wow,
know.
that's
It's
actually crazy how little information is
Yeah,
on
I know.
IMDb.
Yeah, all I found was basically what it's about. So, but you know what, guys? Enough of all of this. I think it's time to get into the topic of the show. All right, so today I thought it would be a great opportunity to introduce our first director spotlight, which I'm calling Hits from the Bong, a retrospective look at the work of Bong Joon Ho.
Is it pronounced Bong Joon Ho or Bong Joon Ho?
It's Bong Joon Ho. So we've all been tasked to watch some of the work by director Bong.
Yeah,
And
Academy Award-winning director.
Academy Award-winning director. And as we all know, Parasite took home 4 Academy Awards,
All of the
including,
awards.
Best Director and, of course, Best Picture. Now, before we begin, disclaimer here, we will be talking about these films with spoilers. If you haven't seen these films, please press pause and return to the episode once you have.
If you can find them.
Well,
Yeah.
if you can find
If you
them.
have to, you might need to import a copy from Korea.
Which we'll get, which we, yeah, absolutely.
Good luck.
I actually saw that I could purchase one and have it shipped from China.
Jeez,
It was
that's not going to
ridiculous.
happen.
Yeah. So I think we should just get right into it. So I have his full filmography
Yeah.
based on what is on IMDb. There's a lot of films that he's been a part of, like short films and stuff like that.
Let's
But I'm
focus
looking at
on feature-length
Yep.
films.
So his first film was in 2000, Barking Dogs Never Bite. Did you guys see this one?
Didn't catch that one, no.
Okay, cool. I had the opportunity to watch it. I just got so busy I didn't get a chance to. I wish I really had have watched it. It sounds like it's a very interesting...
What's it about?
Frustrated with loud barking, an academic wages war against dogs in his apartment building.
Oh, so like a really simple story, like all of his movies?
Yeah. It's a very real
cool.
source story. It's just so unusual, apparently. So I definitely want to give it a watch. That was his debut film.
And I will say, again, I know some people don't care, but it's his lowest scoring movie on Metacritic.
Oh, wow.
So clearly just getting started, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kevin's going to keep the Metacritic score coming.
That's my jam.
So then that way we can kind of see. His next film in 2003, Memories of a Murder, but there's also another name for it. Do you know the other name?
Salle Nuit Chiok.
Is that the French name?
No, I think that's the Korean name.
No, that's
Yeah.
a Korean
The
name.
Korean
Yeah,
name.
yeah. It's Salle Nuit. It sounded very French.
Yeah, so this was the problem because I
I
remember
did read that French.
Right? Yeah.
Nate messaged me. He's like, "Yo, I found a copy of Memories of Murder."
Yeah,
and
a
I'm
friend
looking
got it to
through
me somehow.
Yeah, and I was looking through, and I was like, I don't see that one on his list, but it was labeled differently. This movie is actually, like, a lot of people think of this as some of his like really good film.
It was really good.
In a small Korean province in the 1986, two detectives struggle with the case of multiple young women being found raped and murdered by an unknown culprit. Now, Nate, I believe you watched this, obviously.
I did.
Yes. So what did you think of it?
First things first, movies from 2003 look a heck of a lot older than I remember.
Well, maybe South Korean.
Yeah,
movies,
pretend, right?
With,
Maybe,
you
yeah.
know, like what was
Foreign-
The film production, film
International
production is
movies?
a different process. Watch a
but-
Bollywood movie,
Yeah.
and then you'll know.
You know,
Yeah.
its budget was $2.8 million. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, that's
Still shot on film.
Yeah. No, I think honestly, it's super good. Hang Ho's song.
I'm learning. Yeah,
who's
he's his
in-
muse.
That's his thing.
That's
You
his
know,
guy. That's
that's-
Yeah,
his
they're like very close
DiCaprio
friends, yeah.
and
Right.
De Niro for Scorsese. That's his Diane Keaton and Mia Farrow
Yeah.
and Scarlett Johansson for Woody Allen. Yeah, that's
You know?
his guy. I didn't know that.
It's cool. He does such a good job as Detective Park. Detective Park's character is sort of like a bumbling, gets a ton of things wrong. Doesn't really. He's not as good as the other detective that's coming in from Seoul, who I can't remember the name of, unfortunately. But he does a pretty good job as well. This is based off of a true story.
Yeah.
I think it won an award for cinematography.
Yes.
And it's really cool the way they like you mentioned, Justin, comedy mixed with horrible things that are going on. And so, we were talking about Avenue 5 earlier and laughing at horrible things that have been happening to these people. It's kind of a little bit of what happens here.
So that was gonna be my question for you. I was gonna say, so this one clearly doesn't have any of his signature humor in it, but
It's got a little bit.
But it's and I, from what I've heard about this film
Yeah.
from other people, is that it's just placed in a very like uncomfortable way.
Yes.
Right? Which when I think Western culture watches it, it's like, that's not funny.
Well,
But then you kind of just see
there's a specific character that they treat horribly that you would think in any movie should be treated much better. And unfortunately, it's this gentleman he's got autism, and he's got like a big scar on his face, and so they just treat him horrifically. And part of the I guess the humor, it's not funny, but I guess you're just laughing at the idea of like, how could they possibly be doing this to this person? And also just how wrong they keep getting the wrong people. They keep interrogating the wrong people so much. And it just starts to become sort of a thread throughout the movie. That's right. It starts to add a little bit of humor, but again, it's an uncomfortable sort of what is going on.
I think he does that really well.
Yeah. I think overall the message that I found with the film is, again, similar to tone for his other films, where good things can happen to bad people and bad things can happen to good people, and there's really never a happy ending with any of his films. I've noticed, like, it's not a full happy ending. It's
subverting.
It's right. It still resolves, but not in the way that you want it to.
It's not a full closure. It's an ambiguous closure, right? Like that's a very tactical style of storytelling, where it doesn't need to be a nice little bow at the top of the box. It's kind of it's uncertain. It's not fully wrapped, right?
And this movie just shows as well, like, how unprepared and how little resources they had in the wake of those murders in the 80s,
right.
Like in Korea.
Yeah.
Like at one point they have to rely on working with an American like DNA testing team, right. And it just takes forever, because obviously they're not taken seriously, and also the fact
I think
that
it's the time, though. It's 1986.
Sure, so. But also like at this point in time, that's not a normal occurrence to happen. In Korea.
Because Korea probably has their own DNA, because it is now.
No, I mean, like, murders like this are not common up until this point. Like, this is the first time where they're really dealing with murders and rapes to this degree.
Yeah.
And so, it's a small story with like an even smaller cast. But like, I could not take my eyes off the screen the entire time. They all performed perfectly in the roles that they were cast in. And again, I noticed this is the same thing that happened to me with Parasite. The subtitles melted away pretty quickly.
So you suddenly understood Korean?
That was it. Now I know Korean. No, I honestly, it didn't feel like I was reading anymore.
If a movie's done well, you forget you're reading.
Yeah.
And you just read it and then watch their performance. Read it and watch them say that's how I do it, at least.
But dude, honestly, this movie's fantastic. I would say this is the next movie to watch if you enjoyed Parasite.
Oh, I've heard this is one of his.
That's
his
like the next
films.
step.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm just really annoyed that these films aren't available in a more easy, in a more accessible fashion.
Sure.
Yeah. So,
and I understand why.
Yeah.
But with the recognition he's gotten now, I hope they do become more readily available.
Yeah.
Because I will not stream movies.
Mm.
I don't stream music. I don't stream I don't watch or listen to content for free.
Yeah.
It's just against.
Good news. They announced that the Criterion Collection, those guys that do those really lovely Blu-rays.
Oh yeah, good. So now I can buy it for $45.
Sure, you can get a super special edition.
Put it on.
Parasite.
Put it on.
And they're doing Memories of Murder as well.
Oh, nice.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, so Perwitsky will get it, and I'll borrow it from him.
Exactly.
There we go. So I'll see it in a few years.
Problem solved.
Yep.
Yeah,
but that's going to be my problem throughout most of this list.
Yeah.
Is that they're
harder to find.
They're just so hard to find, right?
Yeah.
The first one, Barking
I
Dog, right?
I couldn't find it. The thing that stood out to me when I was reading just highlights of this film, was that it's a testament to the homage of crime films from the West.
Oh yeah.
He was very
film noir.
Yeah, and he was very inspired by the Fincher and the Scorsese.
You can tell.
He wanted to tell that aesthetic. So that's one of the reasons why I really want to watch. I want to see his take on that sort of, especially the Fincher style.
Yeah.
And also his ability to combine narrative. You were kind of referencing it, but the humor and the sort of elements of horror and all this, but combining those styles, really honing in on this ability to combine styles into this narrative that just worked.
Yep.
And also the some of the various little political, sociological sort of looks at Korea in 1986.
Yeah.
Again, I haven't seen it, but I will report that it got a score of 82 on Metascore.
Oh,
so that's quite the jump to go from a 65 up to an 82. I think people went, oh, who's this guy?
Yeah.
With this movie.
That really brought him into people's eyes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Yeah, it's great. It's a really great movie, and I think it's actually, I would say it's probably his second best from what I've watched.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. I'm definitely going to check that one out. All right. 2006, The Host.
Ooh.
A monster emerges from Seoul's Han River and begins attacking people. One victim's loving family does what it can to rescue her from its clutches. So that's the brief synopsis from IMDb.
Again, super simple,
It's super
right? Like it's extreme, it's big, it's monster,
Yeah.
but it's simple.
So I'm also going to kind of like, I compared like Memoirs of a Murderer to a Fincher style film, which a lot of people have done. But I think The Host is kind of like also like a bit of a Spielberg,
Okay,
right? Like a Korean Spielberg film,
sure, yeah,
right? Where
it's got like a
that monster
family.
movie. Yeah, it has the family appreciation.
Kids.
Like the things that kind of stood out to me, it's kind of like a rescue mission / family adventure.
Yeah,
To rescue this little girl from the clutches of this monster.
yeah. And you can also see her and, again, I think we already covered that there'll be spoilers, but at some point did you watch The Host?
I didn't watch it for this.
Okay.
I've seen bits and pieces
Sure.
of it. I know it's not for me.
Okay.
But it looked fun enough.
At one point in time, there's like another little kid that's there, and like you can see the two of them interacting with the monster again in an extremely dreadful and horrifying situation.
Yeah.
But still little kids. It's really funny because when you're watching the movie, like the CGI is a bit rough.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's got, instead of smartphones, they all have like video cameras. Like a guy pulls out like a video camera at one point, and you're like, oh man, like you can tell the movie's aged.
14 years ago.
Right? Yeah.
Wait, just a quick question.
Yeah.
Is the grandfather from Okja in it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I might have to check
Right?
this out. Yeah.
It's really
just
good.
based on the cast.
It's really good, and it's
See, that's what's great though, is
Yeah.
that his movies are also just, they're either getting you to enjoy the cast and to hear that the cast
It's
is
really
this.
exposing me to foreign acting in a new light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reality is though is that he gets the best performances out of these people.
Yeah.
Like they really do
the
have
chemistry is really good together.
the chemistry
Yeah.
and also just like that nuance of like just naturalness, dude.
Right.
But is that a credit to his writing?
could be.
Oh no, I think it's a credit to the acting, but I think it's also a credit to
I'm saying not just the act. Is it maybe they're able to act so naturally because he writes very natural, organic.
Sure, or maybe he
dialogue.
writes it a little bit looser and says, "Go,
Make it yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they started quarantining everyone in the movie, I just started getting that feeling of art imitating life, and started getting to me.
And it's 2006.
Yeah.
So it's like past life.
Right, and so because everyone there's a disease that spreads, and people are starting to get it.
And then there's this great scene where this guy's standing at the bus station. Do you remember
yeah.
that? And he's coughing, and then he spits into the water, and he's on a busy street,
And then
he's
this,
ready
like-
to cross, and this woman just like
Stands
like moves away from him. It was so relevant to like
Yeah.
what you see like even now. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter what your race is. If you're coughing or sneezing and or whatever, you have
Get
a little
the
bit of
heck away from me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I when the whole family was running to the for the van, it reminded me so much of Parasite.
Yeah.
Like just seeing them all together, I was like, oh, another great family. I thought that the fact that the entire thing at the end, it wasn't even real. Like it was a miscommunication, the entire infection. So they use this yellow gas, this Agent Yellow, and that ends up killing more people than I think even the monster does.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things. It's like it sort of felt like the overall story was like
Misinformation.
Yeah, misinformation. Right, the way the American government treated the virus as a monster, they were the monster. You know what I mean? And the misinformation they gave was really what caused the most deaths in this movie. And it was not bad, honestly. I really enjoyed it. I honestly think it's a 4 out of 5. I'm a little bit, I think, pushing on that, but I liked it. I think the family brought that score up because I think it was at a 3.5, and
I love the family side to the whole story, and I think that
I think that's one of his strengths.
Yeah.
Is the characters.
Yes,
right? He lets
absolutely.
them
Writing-
be the story.
yes, exactly, Kevin. That's to the point exactly.
It's the only reason I actually want to watch this movie now.
Right.
Is seeing the cast and knowing
Cool.
But I will say this is the second highest rated movie
Oh
of
yeah,
his.
it was huge.
on-
I remember watching it.
This is an 85 on Metacritic.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
His second best reviewed movie.
Yeah.
His next film was in 2009 called Mother. A mother desperately searches for the killer who framed her son for a girl's horrific murder.
Now, did you guys watch this one?
I didn't get a chance to. Did you watch it?
No.
I did, yeah.
Ooh.
Tell me, there's no comedy in this one, right?
There's some odd placements of comedy.
But probably very minute.
Sort of minute. Yeah.
I
can find humor in anything.
It's interesting, though. The thread line that you just read sounds like a thread line from Memories of Murder.
So this is what I was going to say.
It's very interesting.
It seems like that movie,
Yeah.
Memories of Murder, influenced this film to be
Absolutely.
made. It's funny how she's kind of like the vigilante of this film, right? She's seen as the hero and breaking the rules to get the clues that she needs to find so that she can prove that her son is innocent. You guys definitely should check this out. I won't spend too much time on this because I think that you should watch it. I really enjoyed it. There's a lot of social commentary again about class, which I think is an ongoing topic for Bong. The film is very Hitchcock style. The film sees the mother's love sort of become twisted and just kind of like almost like Psycho, that sort of menacing maternal sort of
like you don't know whether she wants to like hold him or do other things to him.
Again, I will say watch it, and then you can.
I'm gonna watch it based on the English translation of the tagline for this film,
which is
"Don't hate my son. I won't stand it."
Wow. What's the Metacritic on that one, Kevin?
This is another really, really high score. We're at 79 here.
I heard it's his weirdest film.
It is. It's incredibly weird.
Okay, so if it is weird and twisted, then maybe there are tones that I'm not picking up on.
There's also like this very real side to how the streets of South Korea are juxtaposed with these, sort of open naturescapes, which is another theme that'll come up later. But, just this idea of how that openness can seem very surreal to the confined spaces of South Korea. There's this balance between how those environments play into these characters. It's very interesting. I think this is probably my second favorite film.
Oh, cool.
from him.
All right. Wow. Of what you've seen, yeah.
Of what I've seen.
Sick.
Yeah. Okay, so 2013, Snowpiercer.
I've seen this one.
Yeah, we've all seen this. So
I remember that one.
In a future where a failed climate change experiment has killed all life except for the lucky few who boarded the Snowpiercer, a train that travels around the globe, a new class system emerges. So that's
so funny. This is basically just a movie on a train. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
that synopsis,
Right.
That's almost like that unnecessary. Just say an action movie on a train. Basically,
yeah, absolutely. It's based on a French graphic novel, and this is his first English film debut. So this one was in conjunction with Harvey Weinstein, with the Weinstein Company.
There's a lot more action in this one.
Yeah, way more. A lot more set pieces.
Yeah,
appeasing
to a Western audience.
Yeah, appeasing, very stylized.
Not as much humor, in my opinion, as the next two.
Absolutely, yeah.
I'd agree.
Yeah, I think this went very dark and sci-fi. But obviously, as we all know how it ends with that possibility of something new coming out of that darkness, right? So, but guys, being that this is probably. Like, I know for Kevin, this was probably the first film you saw from Bong Joon Ho.
Yep.
And now seeing some other stuff. Do you kind of see some correlations between thematic elements or?
I mean, I suppose with class structure and everything, obviously the train is a big giant, it's so metaphorical. For class structure, certainly.
Right.
This is the weakest of the three that I've seen by a mile, in my opinion.
Right.
It's an excellent action movie. Yeah. But it's an action movie.
And I think it did just do what it needed to do for Bong, though.
It broke it. It got his name
got
out
him
there.
into the Western thing. Because you had people like Chris Evans in it. You had,
John Hurt. He worked with Tilda.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tilda and him are very close. And this was their first project they were able to work on together.
I thought she was really good in this, actually.
She's excellent.
Chris Evans, obviously, coming off the tails of Avengers when this movie was made.
It would have been, right?
Yeah.
He'd already been Cap.
Yeah, so he already been capped. He had finished Avengers. He went and shot, I think, this film. And then the night of the premiere, when they went and they did the shawarma scene, there's that part where he's like sitting in the shawarma restaurant. And he's covering up his face. It's because he has a beard, right?
Okay.
So because I think they were still filming. So I thought that's pretty cool.
That's
so
a great
there's
story,
the overlap. There's the overlap.
Yeah. I remember when we did our test episodes, I think we tried out reviewing this movie. Honestly, I think it's really cool. It with the action scenes and how they move up the train and go from, you can see it. They're like going further and further up these classes, of people, of social, and it reminded me. The action reminded me a lot of like The Raid. It was cool from a visual standpoint. Like I think I mentioned this, like the costuming, how it started off where, you see everyone in these brown and gray clothes in the back of the train. And then Tilda Swinton's character comes in, Mason, and she comes in and she's wearing this bright yellow coat, right? And she's got the blonde hair, and she's like, it hurts your eyes to look at her because of how physically bright she is. And just playing with that idea of like, the contrast of the people in the back of the train are, all poor and don't have these bright clothes, and as they move further and further through, their clothes are getting more and more sickly. It reminded me a lot of like the Hunger Games sort of style.
Absolutely. I think that's a good comparison. It's like Hunger Games on a train.
Hunger Games on a train. Get these Hunger Games off this Monday to Friday train.
I do think, though, this film, to Kevin's point, it's not his best in what he did, but I think
it looks great.
It looks great, and I think it was choreographed great. It was put together very well.
Great acting.
Yep, great. I think that towards the end, though, it just kind of like
it lost itself.
Yeah,
right. Like there was like, especially I think like the translation devices.
Yes,
how they didn't matter anymore. Like they were a bigger deal in the beginning of the film. I think it started to get to the point where too many ideas were brought in, and it got a little bit messy.
Yeah, and how much can you do? That's kind of like that. Like bottlenecking works on an episode of a TV show.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's tough to pull off for 2 hours in a movie, right?
Does make me think, though, that he could do a superhero movie, like in a Marvel movie.
Yeah,
Wow.
but I would like to see him
That would be cool.
With
be
like
more playful with it than he
sure.
was for this.
Do you think
he's too serious?
But I think tonally, especially like with someone like with Weinstein Company behind it, they would want to really push that, because I think that's the sell for East Asian films, is like there's action, there's that sort of that thing, but now you have great acting.
But the dialogue's kind of stilted in a lot of ways. Like it
felt very
it's fine.
It
was fine.
Yeah.
It was fine. But at 84 on
So it's high
on
rated.
Metacritic, it's his third highest rated movie.
But I'd agree with you, Kevin. It's my least favorite of what I've seen.
Yeah, I think, especially after seeing now more.
Yep.
This is definitely
Not to say that it's not good. It's good.
Yeah, it actually.
But we're
it actually
going through
did,
and we're looking at it.
It did drop down.
Yeah.
My appreciation for it did lower after
you've
watching
seen other movies?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the next
Absolutely.
two for sure.
Awesome. All right, we're moving on to our next film. Okay, so this is Auteur from 2017. A young girl risks everything to prevent a powerful multinational company from kidnapping her best friend, a fascinating beast named Auteur.
Which is a super pig.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
Or she.
She's amazing.
Yeah. I thought it was
Oh,
really cool.
Kevin, did this get you?
Oh, this movie's dope. This is my favorite of his.
Really?
This movie's awesome.
Did you cry?
No, I don't cry at movies.
Oh, I cried.
Unless it's Jojo Rabbit and there's shoelaces involved.
Yeah, unless it gets you.
For this one and the next movie we'll talk about, I won't spoil what it is. No, but I
wonder what it is.
I had never seen a trailer. I didn't even read a synopsis.
Really?
And I knew even less about this one than I do the next one. So I had no idea what to go into. I just saw a picture. I think I'd seen a visual. I was,
Yeah.
I thought, oh, is this another creature feature that he's done? But it was, no, just watch it. Okay, fine. I'll give it a chance.
Yeah.
Took me 2 minutes. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, yep, I'm in. Let's roll with this one.
Yeah.
It was lovely. It was fun. It was exciting. It was tense. It was harrowing.
It's sad.
It was very sad.
Yeah.
It was very sad at the end.
Yeah.
Even the happy ending, if you will,
Was still really sad.
Devastating.
Which is just, again, it's obviously we keep mentioning this, but that's like his thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is his thing, and I think Kevin also just described another part of director Bong's thing is just mixing all of this.
Yeah.
Like you never know what to feel. Like it's not so paced that you're like, okay, this is just, this kind of a movie. It's like you feel happy, you feel sad, you feel, tension, you're excited, it's just.
And then
all
when
of these
you're
things
sad,
mixed
all of a
together.
sudden you feel happy again for a
Right.
minute, and it's like, how did you do that?
Yeah.
I was so upset a minute ago.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, this was
It's really good.
Yeah. You know how good it is? It made me like Paul Dano.
Right?
I
Okay.
hate Paul Dano.
So getting into spoilers for this one, dude, I love Paul Dano. I think he's fantastic.
I think he's terrific. I just hate watching him act.
Oh, okay. But when he shows
till
up,
Batman comes
and then
out.
freaking Steven Yeun is there as well from like shout out to The Walking Dead. Like, dude, that when that moment happened, because I saw him in the mask and I was like, is that Paul Dano? It is Paul
Which I
Dano.
had no idea who that guy was.
It was
right?
so
he looked,
cool.
He looked tough for the first time. In
I
his
thought it
Wait,
was
life.
a
Paul
great
Dano was
reveal.
when you saw him in,
Auteur.
but like in the truck when he was wearing the mask.
Yes, you
So
see him
knew
before.
It was him?
I sort of had a feeling that it might have been him.
I could not tell that it was him.
No,
I
I
did not-
no, he looked too cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then when he
looked-
took his mask, I'm like, what?
I was like, oh, yeah.
Tilda Swinton with braces at the beginning of the movie was really weird.
Well, yeah, and I think
kinda
that was-
show that time
and
passing.
and it also I think was to give her straight teeth, so when her other sister came in, she could have
The-
crooked teeth,
yeah.
and you knew who it was.
Oh, that's
Oh,
kind of
good.
I
cool.
think that's how they set that up.
And it kind of shows that character as like a crooked character at the beginning that turns into, or no, it's the opposite. She starts off pretty wholesome and then becomes crooked as her teeth get
Perfect.
straighter.
Yeah.
It did get me thinking, though.
But you're right. It also was great in showing passage of time.
Yes.
Yeah. I think it's a few elements
Yep.
there. Yeah.
I thought it was really interesting, though, how she played another character in a whole different time period that was very similar to a character that she played in Snowpiercer.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that was something that, because like,
I would
we were
put that
talking-
on Bong more than her.
Sure,
I think
because they're good-
he's writing
yeah.
the same kind of villain in,
right.
in two
Oh, no,
straight movies.
for sure.
right?
But that's what I mean. I think that's what's really interesting is that I think in some ways, without him directly doing it, he's indirectly pulling from his own universe, if you will, to kind of build other characters that are have archetypes and certain sort of features, if you will, or personalities that can then be carried through other films.
Jake Gyllenhaal's in this movie, you guys.
He was obnoxious.
You didn't like him, eh?
I can't tell if I thought it was a fantastic
Performance
performance
or a
too
terrible-
over the top.
I
Yeah.
think it was
here's
too
the-
over the
but-
top.
I
can I
think
ask-
it works for the character.
Right.
This
At
absolutely
first-
shallow, pathetic scumbag.
Yeah.
Just I thought.
Well, he's in love with the idea. He's in love with himself, but he's past his years. You know what I mean? Like he was popular. He had a right to be full of himself, and now he doesn't anymore. And he's kind of like the crocodile hunter sort of character in this world, but like he used to be loved, and now he's not as loved anymore. I did think, I agree. He was way over the top at the beginning. Same with Tilda Swinton's character. And then as they started to carry throughout the movie, they started to make more sense.
I think his best scene was obviously in the quote unquote slaughterhouse.
The
if you
torture
will. Yeah,
room.
the torture room or whatever.
Take those quotes away.
Yeah.
It's a slaughterhouse,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And like it does draw into question certain sort of animal rights things. And again,
Yeah.
I think he has this innate ability to pull from real life sort of stories.
He's
and real life
always
situations.
he's always seemingly applying social commentary to his work.
Yeah,
he's
and
always trying to talk about something.
Yeah, and
this one he might talk about a few too many things. If there was anything,
sure that's
there's
what-
no focus on any real thing. They kept it interesting, so I didn't mind that.
Yeah,
but-
that's a good point. I actually appreciate that.
I thought Seo Hyun, sorry about the pronunciation, Seo Hyun An, who plays Mija.
yeah, I wasn't even going to try it. I was just going to say,
Right, she was awesome.
Yeah, she was very, very charming.
Her action
and
scenes, too.
tough and
when
cool.
she threw herself through that glass,
Right?
that was awesome.
It was dope.
She like totally.
Oh, the truck scene.
Yeah.
Dude,
Oh, the
she's
truck
like
scene was awesome.
She's like a wicked version. Like if they ever make a Korean live action Dora the Explorer directed by Bong Joon Ho, 100%.
But I would 100% see her in like an action adventure film.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah,
she was great.
She was wicked.
Yeah, that only wants what she.
Right,
what
she sees that fish, then she tosses it back in the water in that one scene. Right, the only thing that really fell flat for me, though, I gotta say, is Okja farting all the time. Did that humor work for you guys? Where it
Well,
was like
again,
pooping all the time.
I only remember once.
twice.
It did it twice.
He did it. He did it actually in the water when he was out. They were hanging out.
She
and then
did,
in the
yeah.
Well,
Auteur's a girl, yeah.
She did it in the and when they were frolicking in the
Now,
in the
okay,
woods.
so I missed that. I don't know why. I guess I did. It was just I didn't find it important, so it just slipped my mind as I was getting really engrossed. Did she pat him at all or pat her at all to start
To
it?
cause it, yeah.
Perfect. So you have to have that scene so it
in
sets
order
up
to
the
make
truck.
sense for the truck scene.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. I just didn't think it was that funny. And,
Oh, no,
I don't know if it was meant to be funny.
No, but that was purely set up, and then off the truck, I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Just because the actor playing with it
did really well
he's
to
been
sort of
funny
just give up.
running after the whole time, and then he played a poop joke well. I thought,
And poop jokes nowadays are good family humor.
So that last 10 minutes of literally the moment that guy, they're in line and the guy puts the gun that gun that normally shoots cattle or whatever up to the head of Auteur. I was literally on my, like, I stood up. I'm standing in my house alone, standing up and screaming no at the television.
it was like, no way, it's gonna happen. Okay, it's not gonna happen. Oh God, it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
It was tense.
I love how though, like the symbolism of her trading up a gold pig for her
interesting.
live pig, and the gold pig, symbolizing obviously again a class.
But I thought she
element.
threw it away when she has the spat with her father, grandfather, whatever he is.
I think she picked it up.
I think he gives it back to her
Oh,
later on throughout
right,
the
'cause
movie
he threw it at her.
he meets up with her
Right.
in the
She
city.
did,
Yeah,
Right.
And he says
Okay,
you
right,
shouldn't
right,
throw
right.
this or something. It's value.
Right.
Yeah.
I completely forgot that. Thank you.
But
Yeah.
this is how you make a statement about this messaging, not at the Oscars, Joaquin.
Yeah.
This is how you make this
Oh,
statement.
Absolutely, yeah. What was the Metascore, Kev?
Surprisingly low. This was a 79.
Interesting.
79.
I think
Wonder why. I wonder why
I
that
think
would
it's
be.
underrated, very much so.
I do too. I think it's his best movie.
Do you think
in
it's
my
because it
opinion.
was
Well,
released on Netflix?
No.
Do you think that has anything to do with it?
That's amazingly fascinating. The whole fact that this probably never would have been made for $50 million
Right.
if it weren't through Netflix.
Yeah.
This is Netflix's first. I mean, because this came out before the one that got nominated last year, the Spanish film.
Roma.
Yes, so this was Netflix's first great movie. It's a pretty important piece of film
I
in that
think
regard.
the thing that hurt it though might have been that it didn't get the same sort of like promotional sort of tour where like Roma was, in theaters and
I don't think
Irishman was in
I don't
theaters.
think Netflix. Well, I mean, it made $2 million worldwide,
Okay, so it might have been,
but only in South Korea, I believe.
yeah. So I think because of
but even they pulled it, and he got nominated at Cannes.
Yeah.
But Netflix has since been banned
Yes.
because of this movie, because of the outrage from people saying if it's not going to be in a French cinema, it can't be at this film festival. Like you should read the backstory of the movie and everything, and the chances Netflix took to make it.
Wow.
There should be a whole documentary on Netflix about that.
That'd
be cool.
The making of.
Can I just quickly mention 3 really cool casting things? So, Giancarlo Esposito is in the movie.
I thought he was a bit underwhelming.
Yeah?
He was very like overly flamboyant.
I think his presence alone is great.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if you're a Breaking Bad fan, but for somebody,
I don't know. I like the Breaking Bad side though, like the Gus.
Gus
I
Fring.
liked him rather than this character he played.
I was waiting for his character to do something.
I thought he
Either
was gonna
'cause
overtake
He was
the
super
company.
straight lined, and so it was either waiting for him to be super evil,
Yeah.
or actually I'm the good guy,
Yeah.
and like maybe him and Tilda Swinton's character, who gets brushed aside by her even more evil sister, maybe they were going to uprise
Sure.
and help her, but he just sort of was there and did nothing.
In a movie
so I found it
that's-
a bit flat.
In a movie that's filled with extra, like all the Western American characters being pretty extra, in their what they're doing, he was, you're right, he was a little bit.
kind of boring. And so I get, as a Breaking Bad fan,
Sure.
I know how integral Gus, the character, is. I'm sure he's one of the greatest villains in television history, but I mean, I only know that because I like TV and stuff, but I never saw that performance. So it wasn't just enough to be like, oh, cool, it's him, you know? So
Babu Frick was in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah, she's the one
the
that's
assistant?
walking around
The
with the
assistant,
assistant.
yeah.
Yeah.
What a weird choice. Like, I guess if you're going to have all these extra characters, how do you get the most extra voice, I guess, in this, right? But yeah, the moment she started talking, I was like, oh, Moaning Myrtle, hello.
And do you know who did Auteur's voice?
This is the coolest part. I'll let you read that one.
No, you were doing this.
Oh,
I didn't realize that was
the
going to be your
homework.
casting. Yep.
No, yeah. So Jung Yoon Lee, you just wanted me to have to say the name, was the mother in Parasite.
Yeah.
And she's the voice of Auteur.
Yeah.
And she does a cameo in the subway station.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's the one that screams.
Yeah. So
in the
good.
wheelchair. That's
Yeah, yeah.
amazing.
In that 0.4 seconds, like she was already like a fantastic character. You know what I mean? Like
she's the bad guy in this movie. She almost got Auteur caught
I mean,
by
technically,
not getting out of the way.
Yeah, that's true. Get out of the way in your wheelchair. Jeez.
Yeah. Great film. But that leads us into our last film that we take a look at here from director Bong. And that is, of course, Parasite from 2019.
Hold on really quickly. If you haven't seen Parasite,
Please.
and you haven't seen a trailer for it, and you haven't even read a synopsis, please leave right now. Cool. We will not begrudge you. The less you know about this, the wilder of a ride it is.
Yeah.
I honestly knew nothing about this, and it was like, where is this going? Every 5 minutes. So honestly, get out of here. Continue, Justin.
Yeah, I agree with that because recently he was on Jimmy Fallon while the whole media circuit was going on with his film, and Jimmy was asking him questions about the movie, and he spoke in Korean, and then the translator said, I don't want to really talk too much about the film because I want people to go in as cold as possible, not knowing as much will really help with experiencing the story. I think, to your point, this is the intent of that film, is to know very little, not to know what's really going on, and not to know.
I actually want to go watch a trailer. Like, I just want to see what they do give away. If it's a typical North American show you everything in linear order trailer, or if it is weird and cut up enough that you still don't really know.
Yep. But if you have seen it, this is a story about a poor family, the Kims, who con their way into becoming the servants of a rich family, the Parks. But their easy life gets complicated when their deception is threatened with exposure. Yeah.
That line alone, man.
Yeah.
What a fun movie, just derailed.
So
Hey,
yeah,
like,
I know. So like
oh.
It's like a few different genres in one.
Oh, of course, right? It's so great to see that the story that has so much of this blend of genres is because it doesn't really fit anywhere, right?
Yeah.
Like there's no genre that this could actually fit in,
No.
right? But Kevin, you now seeing it, right off the bat, like what was that? What was it like in terms of just experiencing those narrative flows, if you will?
It was crazy. It was crazy. Again, I knew that there was a poor family and a rich family. That's all I knew. So I didn't know the level of deception that was going to happen. And I was having so much fun, and even, I knew it couldn't stay that way and something was going to go wrong. I didn't realize how wrong it was going to go for this family in terms, and the doorbell rings and it just gets scary as hell. Like, it was a bit freaky, man.
When that doorbell rings and they're having their family moment, and you already see some of the tension that kind of happens there, and then they start laughing and they're having fun. It's like a literal, like, just a change, like it's just a snap in the movie, and then everything just changes because even the music, like all of the audio just seems so quiet. All the
lighting seems to change too, like the way that
there's like the pulsating, and it's just everyone's still, and like what do we do? It's not part of the plan. Is what the sun says.
Well, and the plan, I think, even just before that doorbell rings, like seeing the Ocean's 11-esque heist moments of them like just integrating into this family was just so cool, the way they played those scenes off.
When they're standing outside and he's about to bring his sister in, and she says, whoa, whoa, whoa. And then she sings the song to remind her about, like all the lies. And then she's like, okay. And then she's the one that rings the doorbell. Like, it was such a little moment, but just to see that, you got such an idea about what their relationship was like. How they figured out that they were going to con these people.
And it's endearing, right? Like, it makes that character go from like you're kind of like, I don't know, it's just cute.
And then when it suddenly like gets to that point where they're trying to switch the maids or the housekeeper, they're basically going over their script in their apartment, and you see that in in conjunction with the actual moments when he's talking with Mrs. Park and saying, oh, I saw her at the hospital and she was saying that she had tuberculosis, like just to see. And then like he's saying, the son's like, you're up here, you have to
Bring
come
it down here. Yeah.
and it has to be controlled,
Right, he's giving him like
focused.
acting direction and everything.
Because that's all part of the con,
Yeah.
right? Like, and that's where that Ocean's moment really stood out to me, was like in that one split second, because there's parts of it that obviously as they're con artists, it harkens to an Ocean style, but in that one moment I thought it was very Ocean's. What about you guys? What did you think? Like, what was like some of the elements of con that kind of that you enjoyed out of this?
I think you're missing, if you want to really go for an Ocean's vibe, it was super Oceansy, where they're going over the next phase of their plan and he squirts the hot sauce onto the pizza, and then 5 minutes later, after they've timed it out, so we're coming home now, do the peach fuzz, and then boom, he runs over and in slow-mo puts the hot sauce on the napkin and pulls it out.
Almost
like that
like a
was
salt bay.
it was all
his
super
face
Ocean.
too,
Yeah.
as he like held it
Like,
up, like
oh,
my
no.
god, like it just sold it. It sold
Yeah.
it for Mrs. Parks.
I mean,
She's like,
it was stupid that he put the hot sauce pack in the same garbage,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
minor detail. Because
But again,
it's
Kang
not
Ho
like
Song.
they're gonna go look in their own garbage cans.
there-
To be
and
fair,
you
right?
could tell that they were very
Like, I love how later on in the mother, as they're panicking, scoops all that crap into the drawer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you going to do about that? They'll never look in their own drawers.
No.
You know,
Yeah,
get me
exactly.
something out of there, right?
Yeah.
So you're
Wow.
safe in that regard.
Yeah, I think it was cool too that like you said, the setup of seeing the hot sauce on the pizza and then to see it come back. That's very Oceans. It's a very good call out. I like that.
I didn't think about it like that as I was watching it, but if you're going to bring up Oceans,
No, for
that
sure.
was
That's
super-
that, and I again, Oceans isn't like
I just love how, like, right away they're walking through the house. She's now the housekeeper. The mom's the housekeeper. The dad's grabs her ass. It's like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
Subtle,
They're so open
Yeah.
now about it, right?
Well,
Like,
because they know they can get away with it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They
They've already had
understand.
They
perfect
already have.
target.
Yeah.
I thought the biggest con, would be in this movie is, well, getting to the scary part, right? When we see after that doorbell rings and then it all starts to unfold and you get down to that basement.
That was so scary going down those stairs.
Let me ask you this: like
Right?
when you found that out, like did at any point did you feel sorry for the Kims prior to seeing that? Did you feel
Like
sorry?
our main
the
characters?
main family. Did you feel sorry for them
course
in
I
their,
did.
in their situation
Of course I-
prior
yes.
to seeing that?
Yeah.
And then when you saw those people in the basement, you saw that woman with her and her husband in there. How did you guys feel? Did you?
At that point, I didn't feel any. Well, I mean, I guess they cost her job, but that guy, they've been living in that situation with him in the basement
Right.
because of his
debt.
misdoings, not theirs.
Yeah.
I didn't feel bad for him at all. I felt bad for her.
Sure, she was trapped in a pretty.
She was trapped in that situation. She loved that man, but that man,
He
like,
clearly loved her.
Yeah.
And you see it for the 2 minutes they sort of give you where he's free again
Yeah.
and they're on the couch and they're having that really fun interaction.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
It was a cute little
Yeah,
moment,
yeah,
in, again, this harrowing situation. Like, I love how they used an iPhone as a gun, basically.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy, Just holding your button over your thumb over a send button is
Yeah.
basically your finger on a trigger. That
Right.
was such a cool...
Yeah.
It was very metaphorical.
Yes, absolutely. And I liked how that
You
continuously
know
came
why
up.
I'm
Yeah.
saying this, right?
Do you know why he's saying it?
no.
Because that was Kevin's
Yes.
line at the beginning of the
Right.
movie. He just kept saying, "This is so metaphorical."
Oh, yeah.
So I think that plays a huge part in how everything has.
When they're
No.
looking at the art?
No.
no.
I can't remember what he says it towards, but he says it like 2 or 3
He
times.
says
in
it
the
numerous
beginning.
times. He says it when he gets the landscape piece from his friend,
Yeah.
and they're sitting, and it's very metaphorical,
Yeah.
right? He says it when the lightning crashes and his sister says something.
Mm.
He feels like everything around him is giving him a sign, right? And it was a really great sign. It led him into this whole plan of being able to go and get into this rich family to be, this tutor, and then subsequently get his whole family into it. So everything was falling, into place because of all of the different metaphors floating around him. I love, though, at a point when, they get to the flooding of their house and everything is just destroyed, and they have to go sleep in what looks like a community center with other people. His father says to him, the best plan is not to have a plan, right? Like, it's not about all the things.
That was pretty defeatist.
But the thing is, though, is that
Because basically the idea behind that is don't have a plan because then nothing can go wrong. So even when everything goes wrong, it still hasn't gone wrong. That's a pretty. I mean, he seems like a pretty loosey-goosey, easygoing guy. I think that's a bit too loosey-goosey, easygoing for the crisis that they were truly in.
For who, the father?
Yeah.
And you think that it was coming out of a sense of defeat because they...
Of course, I absolutely do.
Well, I think that that's relevant because of where we see him go.
And then I think he wishes
I
think he wishes he had a plan the next day.
Oh, that's a very interesting take. Yeah, because I think that,
they should have talked about something instead of just going in and doing whatever, pretending that there wasn't a serious crisis going on.
Right. That's interesting.
Just speaking of, just because you said when they were in the basement and everything was flooding, I thought it was really interesting that they focused out the window into the alleyway as poop is literally exploding out of your toilet.
Yeah.
Was that almost to say, I bet you wish it was just some dude peeing outside your window now instead of, this, right?
Yeah.
I found that little moment interesting.
Yeah, I mean, even just the concept of like all the setup with the Wi-Fi, right? Like the Wi-Fi is not working, and then you'd imagine just how amazing it would be to then live in this house, right? With all of those, with everyone else on vacation.
I think though that the Wi-Fi serves more of a purpose to show how poor or how poor the Kims are.
They're underground.
Well, they're underground, but they don't have Wi-Fi, right? Like the Wi-Fi is something that is very it's everywhere now, right? Like it's such a commodity.
Well, I mean, their phones got shut down. Never mind Wi-Fi, right? Like
exactly.
But to us, it's like it just doesn't like to us. We don't feel like it's a big deal to have Wi-Fi is everywhere. It should be everywhere, right? But for these people, like it's such a huge deal. So
because of where they are,
right? But you can see just how much it impacts them.
They're eating bags of chips and drinking canned beverages, right? Like they're quite.
But it's interesting though. Like
poor.
I mentioned this in.
They leave the window open when the fumigator comes by because at least this way it's free, right?
Exactly, right. And to me that even just sealed it right in that sequence, right? Because you go from the Wi-Fi into them, making boxes so that they can make money, and then the fumigation. It just like that whole sequence of events was like these people are in a tough place.
Well, they're poorest of the poor,
but they're not nearly as bad as the people that are already living inside of the parks.
No, they don't have
because they're
an
underground.
Insurmountable debt.
Yes,
they're only halfway underground,
exactly.
right? I think the guy says that. Like the gentleman from the bunker.
Yeah,
he says something like that.
The fact that the Kims have little sight line, they can still look outside. They're on ground level, so they're not fully in ground until they obviously meet the family that has infested itself inside of the parks, right?
But then I think they even continue that metaphor on as they're running from the park's house during the rain, and they're going down all those stairs, down and down and down, and you can sort of see Kevin sort of go, wow, we are even lower than them, because of who we've become.
And how the Parks house is just so high up. It sees everything.
Yeah, it's on the top, right?
Yeah. It just, it
looks like a house in LA, actually.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very much.
Did you know that the whole top level of that house was CGI?
Really?
Yeah, it's not actually real. Like when you see exteriors of the house, it was all CGI.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty interesting. The film itself has so many different layers of things that director Bong has kind of played throughout all of his films with, commentary on social structure and class.
Yeah.
Commentary on weather.
Yeah.
And climate change.
Yeah.
It cements this idea of him really drawing from the things in the world to help tell his story and to help kind of connect it to today to a certain degree.
I agree. I think this is his most multifaceted story that he's told in terms of messaging, where he's got maybe one single moral through line for each of his films. This one's got two or three.
Yeah. And they're focused. Like you can identify where they are.
Yeah. This is definitely obviously the favorite. It's his best one. I don't know how he's going to top it, honestly.
I certainly...
Well, that's the $1 million question right now.
Right.
I certainly think it was excellent.
Yeah. You liked Auteur better.
I enjoyed Auteur 10 times more.
Really?
I'm glad I waited until after the Oscars because I was rooting for him to win because it was such a fun story. The story of him winning throughout the night just got more and more enjoyable, and it was such a fun Oscars. I don't think I would have been rooting for Parasite to do as well had I seen it before. I think it's terrific. I don't think it's a 96 on Metacritic. I don't think it's that good.
Yep.
I think it's too weird to be that good.
But don't you think, like, I made a comment last week.
I mean, finger licking nipples and stuff. It's just weird.
Again, that's just sexual representation in another culture, right? Like how we would perceive sexual relations in our movies is a little bit different compared to like France or East Asia, in Europe.
I'm not gonna harp on anybody's kinks. It was just a weird scene. It's just too weird to be the best picture. I think you can go and win. Film festival and awards for movies like that. Yeah. The Oscars are for movies for everybody. The Green Book, Ford versus Ferrari this year. I think that's what the Oscars are for, in my opinion.
Okay.
So it was too like I could not recommend this movie to my parents. They would be absolutely miserable.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I the one thing that is interesting is because I mentioned it last week is like this felt like a very Tarantino style, but in his own sort of way. I
think you said it best in our last episode. Like, it's the best Tarantino film in a year where Tarantino actually released a movie.
Yeah.
I don't see it. That didn't give me Tarantino vibes.
No,
the writing wasn't there. It was a different kind of good writing. Right. Tarantino doesn't write natural dialogue. You know what I mean? Whereas this was all natural people just talking to each other like they might actually talk to each other. And I mean, I think, the father, the patriarch of the Parks talking with the father of the Kims talking about
in the car.
I think they were talking about ideals of how to behave and stuff that are more Asian or South Korean than they would be North American. So there were certain, South Korean aspects to the dialogue, but it was still how a family would talk with each other and joke around and have fun. But it's that I don't see it as a Tarantino movie. I was gonna mention Tarantino in the sense that you're watching a Tarantino movie. You're watching a Scorsese movie, a Spielberg movie. You're watching even a Taika Waititi movie, if only because he's in it. But even just if he wasn't using the same actors, you might have no idea that the last three movies that we watched, between Snowpiercer, Auteur, and Parasite, were done by the same guy.
No, but I think we kind of brought it up earlier in the idea that every single one of his movies has an ending that might not really be happy for everyone.
There are elements of his films. There are elements of his films that he displays in all of them.
I think it's fatalism.
But every Tarantino movie feels like a Tarantino movie. Yeah. Every Spielberg movie feels like a Spielberg movie. Yeah. His movies have similar traits, but do not feel like the same kind of movie.
I see what you're saying. Now I agree with that.
He's made three completely different movies in a row.
I agree. I do agree with that. I do think though that this movie deserved the recognition at the Oscars. I get what you were saying about it. Other movies that are for everyone. I think this could be a movie for everyone, maybe because of a couple scenes that we've referenced that might not be for everyone. But I think the messaging there, and I think that it speaks volumes that this is a South Korean film that talks about things that are still relevant in the Western culture, and Western culture is still able to identify and understand and at least appreciate some of these, and hopefully, open the eyes of the audience to kind of see beyond just their own culture, but other cultures that might have similar sort of opportunities and traits.
I will 100% agree with you there. I think I'm far more open-minded about foreign film now than I was even a day ago before I watched that movie. So I will agree with you there. I just, based on who I know that loves this movie, this is not a movie for everybody.
We have a question from a friend to the show, Mike Hogan. He asks, do you see the success of Parasite leading to more mainstream interest in subtitled films?
Do you think he said it more like, do you think that the success of Parasite, do you think he said it like that?
It depends how many beers he's had.
Yeah.
Because it would be more and more aggressive and in your face.
And if he was Anthony Daniels as C-3PO, sure, I could totally see it.
Heavens.
I personally think that this has
Absolutely.
opened a lot of doors.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny. I literally just
films.
said, right, for me, the person who would
Yeah.
I've maybe seen 3 subtitled movies in my life because that means it wasn't made in North America. So why am I watching it? I can't possibly relate to it. And this guy has really shown me that there's a way to relate to.
It's so funny though, because like I feel like the film kind of deals with what has happened right now, in the sense that there's for me at least, there's an underlining tone of like an ignorance to in the film. You know, people being kind of like not understanding each other's situations. I think this kind of is reflective of what's happening right now. People weren't really comprehensive of like, you know, a subtitled film, a film from another culture can really kind of have a semblance with me who's not of that culture.
Yeah.
And now with the success of this movie, people are now opening their minds and their eyes to say, well, you know, maybe there is like something within a French film.
Maybe there are movies outside of America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, but I
In
also
a sad way, that is kind of how I feel today,
right?
Versus how I felt
think
yesterday.
that's amazing, and I think that's kind of what I was getting at, is that the film for society has opened up, and that ignorance is starting to drop, and people are like, you know what, I can watch a foreign film, and I think that's really refreshing.
Well, and I think even beyond just the audience appreciation and acceptance and everything, it made $50 million.
Yeah. That's pretty mainstream.
It's opening up doors.
Yeah.
It's opening up a lot of doors.
I think the, you know, like this is going to sound super ignorant, but like I've heard really good things about Bollywood movies. You know what I mean? Like I
think I was a little ignorant towards this movie for about a month.
Yeah.
You know, person after person, watch it. It's really good. It's amazing. It's really, how good could it be? How good could it be? You know, there's a bit of ignorance in, on my behalf, and whatever, I'm not going to watch it. And then, it only took a gold statue for me to go and check it out.
3 gold statues.
And so I think
Four.
I think the Academy Award success and a $50 million North American box office. This movie
isn't that big though.
I bet you
For a foreign film, for sure,
it's massive.
Huge. Yeah,
it's
huge.
enormous.
Yes.
And what do you think the budget on it was? Because I bet you it was half of what Auteur was.
50. So, well, yeah, I would probably say, yeah, that might be
It made $250 worldwide.
right.
That's a lot of money for a foreign film.
Yes.
But like $50 million in North American soil for a foreign language film is absolutely enormous,
that
right?
is true. That is true.
So
but
I think this is going to change cinema in a lot of ways.
I think the one thing though that I will say, just in terms of opening up the doors, in my experience, the families, the actors' chemistry, I think, is the one through line in everything that we mentioned, in all these movies that I watched. The actors' chemistry between each other, which is true for any movie from any country, but the actors' chemistry is what really, I think, made these films really special for me, even more than I would say like the writing and the direction, like just the way that they worked so well off each other, which of course comes from that direction.
It's almost why I didn't like The Shift.
Yeah.
It's almost like why I stopped really enjoying the movie after The Doorbell. Because I was having so much fun with these people. Not necessarily rooting for them,
And then
but
it
they were...
shifted for
And
you.
then the fun stops there. And so while I appreciate it from a storytelling aspect, I felt like I suffered from it as an audience member, personally. Like I was enjoying that vibe that these characters were having.
But going forward, I think if it's a matter of, do I want to watch this film with subtitle that is only available in subtitles in a different language, I think it's honestly just going to come down to what any film, well, how's the acting, how's the writing,
Yes.
how's the directing,
you go based off of
the quality of the film, which is awesome. I think that's so cool that's unlocked now.
Subtitles have never bugged me for whatever reason. I mean, I love The Artist.
Yeah.
I think that's a great movie.
it's-
I mean, there's not a lot of talking in it, obviously,
sure,
but
yeah.
it's still subtitles. There was a cool Jet Li movie we saw. It was a big action spectacle.
Hero?
Maybe it was Hero. Yeah,
Yeah, it was like a Crouching Tiger,
That wasn't
Hidden Dragon
great,
style,
but
yeah.
I remember enjoying that and having fun and not being bothered by the subtitles. It was never a subtitle thing. It was an ability like that you touched on to connect with characters from across the world.
Absolutely.
And he showed me just how easy it is because we're all just people. We're all going through the same crap.
Yeah.
So I think it's a pretty important movie in film, not just today, but I think going forward it'll be remembered.
So, Mike, we totally agree with you. Parasite will lead to more mainstream subtitle.
At least I hope so.
Yeah, I definitely hope so. I think to the point of what Nate was mentioning, people are going to give it a shot.
Yeah,
especially after this, it might be guided more so by what other people are saying, like what critics and reviews are saying. Because
what the Oscars is saying.
Well, yeah, and I think that's accelerated.
That doesn't go away.
But I had heard about this film probably in March of last year
when it was at TIFF.
Oh, Mike himself saw it over the summer, I think.
Yeah. I don't think it was at TIFF. I think it was at or Cannes.
He's been came to TIFF.
Parasite?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No, because my buddies went to TIFF and watched it.
You sure?
It's possible. They play some older, like some previous. Yeah,
maybe
sort
if
of what
they
it
were
was
throughout the
making.
year, so it might have
was
been there.
making the
Yeah.
festival circuit, right?
Yeah, it might have been there.
No, but
That would've been a big one, though.
Mike's been pumping this movie up since the summer. Like, he has not shut up about it, and then it won the Oscar.
Yeah, I
and it was
remember-
like, will you shut up about it now?
I remember hearing about it in April and just being like, it just kind of flew by me, and then I was just like, oh, it's winning a lot of awards in the festival circuit. So, before we wrap up, I wanted to just give you guys a little bit of a quote here. I think it's really great that at the Oscars, director Bong was nominated with other peers of his, Martin Scorsese and Quentin Tarantino, and in his speech, he mentioned a quote that goes, "The most personal is the most creative," which is this quote from Martin Scorsese. So to recognize that Martin Scorsese had in many ways influenced the work that he's done, and to be nominated with him that's like a dream moment for any filmmaker to be nominated in a category and also to, I guess, win over that person that's inspired you. But I think that's a testament to the work that director Bong has done, every piece that he's done. And I think that we've watched and that we've been able to discuss has a semblance of something that's very personal to him and that connects. And even if it is these social issues or environmental issues or issues about politics, class, whatever it is, they all find their way into his films and becoming a commentary that help him be I think an auteur of now, really kind of having a direct message and using that camera as that pen to tell his stories in a very compelling and very weird, as Kevin said, way. I think is it's to be celebrated. Huge thanks to Mike Hogan for writing that question in for us. But I think that's it, guys. So we hope you enjoyed our hits from the Bong, a retrospective.
Yeah, Director Bong. Next time, just make a fun movie all the way through, okay? Don't break my heart like that.
Do a Marvel movie, man, or do a Star Wars movie.
That would be cool. No, don't do a Star. Well,
no,
maybe?
I'd watch a Marvel movie of his.
Dude,
sure.
I would totally watch a Marvel movie.
Yeah, I'm sure he's gonna get you got to think too,
and it's starring the girl from Auteur, right?
Dope.
Yeah,
That would be sick.
That'd be cool.
I'd watch
That'd
that.
be cool.
Let's call Darce and see if there's a character that would meet that criteria.
Oh, he'll find one. He'll find one.
Hope you enjoyed this week's episode. If you did, please give us a rating on Apple Podcasts. 5 stars is the minimum you can give. So please rate and review, as it really helps us out. But as always, we are Geekcentric and you can be too, which means you can also check us out on YouTube at youtube.com/Geekcentric. Follow us on Twitter at GeekcentricYT and follow us on Instagram at We Are Geekcentric. And if you would like to write into us,
Like Mike did.
Be like Mike.
be like Mike. Everyone be like Mike.
Like little Bow Wow.
Oh man, he should come back.
No, he shouldn't.
Little Bow Wow, if you're listening, you want to write into the show.
Yeah, Little Bow Wow, we would take a question from you for sure. But if you want to reach us, you can reach us at wearegeekcentric@gmail.com. That's wearegeekcentric
At gmail.com.
Oh, yeah. Kevin, Nate, thank you so much for joining me for today's Bong Hive episode. And as we say,
Love ya.
Yeah, anytime you want to invite me over to hit from a bong, I'm in. Get home safe, guys.
peace.